Welcome back. Now, the aviation sector is set to receive a major boost as we're told that the country is thinking of having its own flyer. We've been joined in studio by Kwabena Ochri Dakumensa, as the Deputy Minister for Aviation. Chief, good morning and thank you very much for your time. How are you doing?
Very well.
How's the ministry faring?
Very good. Very good.
How is good?
Good means that for the first time in about 5 years, domestic passenger throughput has increased again after coming down continuously for the last 5 years. We've been able to open our Terminal 3. We've been able to cut the sod for second phase or terminal building for Kumasi Airport. And we hope that by the close of the year, we'll also be able to cut the sod for Tamale Airport, both the terminal building and then the multi-purpose facility for Hajj.
What's happening to the airport in Wa?
Yes, the airport in Wa is completed. We are looking for carriers to start going there.
Okay.
Initially, we were promised by Africa World Airlines to move in there as far back as in May.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of the monopoly at that time, they couldn't put an aircraft to that effect.
Okay.
They're expecting some new aircraft this year and next year, and they are planning to put some aircraft to that route.
So the complaints will stop soon?
It's not about complaint. I mean, business people do these things based on economics.
Okay.
And therefore, if it doesn't sound right for them, naturally they will not be doing it. Other airlines are coming in. Currently, we've gotten Passion Air in addition to Africa World. Okay. And 2 other more are expected to start operation this year. In fact, we've given ourselves on the 15th for the trial of the Unity Air to start. And then we are hoping that on the 20th up to the end of the year, Baby Jet will also come on stream. So naturally, when we get more aircraft, we are expected that some of them will start looking at those routes.
We're looking for more aircraft to come in there. What are we doing to open the... I know that aviation taxes were dropped at some point.
Yes, that's the reason why they started shooting up. It shows that the policy has really had an effect on the passenger numbers.
And you think that the passengers are happy about this?
Yes, in fact, when competition was introduced, most of the fares have come down. I mean, Accra Kumasi used to be about 400. Now it comes to about 402 for in and out. Tabali has also dropped. It's come down to about 350. So it's good news for passengers. And we want more competitors to come into the game to do the work.
Are they at the table? Are they at the discussion table?
Yes, that's what I told you, that Unity, we are doing the...
I understand 3 more are coming up.
Yes, please. So that's what I'm giving you 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Where's the third one?
The third one is the Royal Air. They used to be Fly 540. Yes, they are also pushing.
Our national airline, the conversation started. There are schools of thought, 2 schools of thought. One started government but give it to the private sector to manage it. Then there's the other school of thought that says, well, if government starts it, let government run it. Where does government stand?
Our position is clear that based on our history, Ghana Airways, Ghana International Airlines, where government had majority shareholding, it was virtually controlled politically, and then the economics were not right. So we believe that for the first time in the history of this country, the government will be a minority shareholder. Government will not appoint the board, and government will not appoint the managing director. But we are starting it as a startup, as an idea, and then give it out there for the private sector to manage.
Is this the solution to our problems?
Yes, it's the solution. I mean, BA has done it, and it's good. If you take United Air, and even Delta, they all started initially as government-backed projects, but now it's in the private sector, and they are doing well. And you should understand that airline business is not rocket science. It's just normal business. It's just discipline. And therefore, if you get people who are putting their money, naturally they will have to behave properly to sustain or make some returns on the investment that they've done.
Does this mark of indiscipline in terms of management within the public sphere?
Yes. That's very correct. That's very correct.
So in trying to get the private sector in to manage this, to rake in more funds, we have left the problem of the discipline in the public sphere to fester.
I believe that that's the reason why the senior minister has embarked, based on approval he got from cabinet, to do this public sector reform. And one of the key components I personally like about it is the idea of positioning the public sector to support the private sector to succeed. In so doing, naturally, the public sector will be forced to be smart, because if the private sector is already succeeding and you are supposed to support them to succeed better. Naturally, you are supposed to be smarter to be able to help them also succeed. So I believe that that is what we are also doing in the public space to make sure that the public sector can also do better.
Funding has been a major issue, if you ask me. Where are we sourcing this funds from? How much are we willing to invest, for example?
As a facilitator, we are basically not looking at putting government money into it. Even if we are putting it into it, then we are looking at it as just a startup capital or a seed money that will be withdrawn back. And our whole idea is to get the private sector interested and engaged in this process. In fact, a lot of private sector participants have shown interest. A lot of airlines have shown interest. And we are game. We know that it's going to be a very successful project.
You have not told me how much is on the drawing sheet.
We are currently looking around $193 million dollars to start this project, yes.
So effective, when are we to see this happen? How far have we gone with the process?
Yes, we've gone very far. We've registered a company. We've gotten a name. We've met stakeholders, those who have told us they want to take so much shares. We've gotten airlines who want to be part and start up the project.
Okay.
We gave ourselves 2 years, starting from May. That's when the former minister actually announced in Parliament that within 2 years he expects to be able to deliver it. So we are still running within that framework.
Okay.
We believe to be able to deliver that within that 2 years.
And this will succeed.
Big time.
Will not fall off like
Big
the
time.
DC-10 that we had, which has become a chop bar.
Oh, as for the DC-10, being a chop bar is just making it iconic. But we all know the problems with Ghana Airways. The Ghana Airways problem was not the aircraft problems. They were the management problem, the indiscipline issues. Yes, these are the issues that I want to get away from them. Yes, so it's not going to be like that. Not at all. Because this one is private money.
Okay.
Using the national flag.
Okay. Let's talk about staffing, because we've had a few complaints from persons who work in the aviation industry, which is under your purview, and they say, look, they are not well taken care of. Their compensation isn't the best, especially those who are below the belt. They say their compensation isn't the best. Have you gotten any of these notices?
Not officially.
Not officially.
But
I'm sure you've heard about
once
some of these things.
hear it.
They complain that
once in a while you hear it, but it is better that they bring an official complaint so that we can work on it, because before people took up their jobs, they knew the compensation before they took up their jobs. And I believe that the more we bring in competition, then the employees will become a scarce commodity, and naturally they can have a bigger bargaining chip, and then they can get better salaries than what maybe they expect from their
but if you've heard about it, don't you think that you should also take a charge and investigate and ascertain whether it's true or not?
But in this country, government don't fix salaries of private sector people.
But you have a minimum wage.
Yes, but nobody has been paid below the minimum wage. I've not come across anybody being told that he's being paid below the minimum wage. Not at all.
Okay.
Yes, but it's
at least in your industry.
Yes.
Okay.
I've not heard that. Not at all. So I believe that when we get the competition going, there will be more opportunities, and there will be a better competition for their skills, and naturally they can get higher wages. That's the way you control the microeconomics so that things can do better.
The Terminal 3 has come up strongly in the political arena, the conversation.
Yeah.
Some say you can't take credit for it. It belongs to the former President Mahamas to get the pegs on their shoulders for it, and you shouldn't take the credit for it.
Sometimes I laugh.
Why do you laugh?
Because to start with, the program of getting Terminal 3 being done was captured in the 2008 transport policy document under President Kufuor to intensify the volume and the capacity of Kotoka International Airport.
Right.
So that's where the vision started from. Okay. So for me, it's not an issue. The NDC only did 30% of the work. We came to do the additional 70%. Some of the facilities the loan that were used, we came to unlock them. Some of them. So I don't understand this whole thing about.
They said they had gone further with the negotiations. You came to unlock them. It doesn't give you.
But it doesn't matter, because you see, even in Ghana, our own account balance. You see, Ejumasini, Enyaketia, Anambwa. I mean, that's what we say. In fact, I have said it on numerous occasions in Parliament that I believe that if we have to satisfy Article what do you call it? Article 36 of the Constitution, which talks about the directive principle of state policy, that talks about government continue old projects of previous government. I believe that we've satisfied that condition. We've been able to do that. And I believe that one way to stop politicians from actually spending thinly on projects all across the country is to ensure that even people who start projects but don't complete don't get credit for it. In that case, we'll be making sure that we invest the money rightly and make sure we complete these projects so that we don't waste Ghana's money. I mean, just yesterday, last week, when Education Minister came to Parliament, we need about 1.5 billion to be able to finish all our uncompleted projects under Get Fund. We've used government money for them, and we're just sitting idle because we're uncompleted. We couldn't use them. If we had concentrated on a few that we could use, they would have been more beneficial to the Ghanaian populace than just spreading them all across the country. So that's my personal belief.
But you honestly would,
and I've said so in Parliament.
Would you honestly give President Mahama and his administration some credit for T3?
I mean, it's a government project that was started. Why not? There's nothing wrong with it. When the NDC some time ago started 37, we completed and we gave them credit for what they've done. And we also took credit for doing the major part of the work. So there's nothing wrong with it. But to start with, that vision was not his vision. That was President Kufuor's an NPP vision. So look at the transport policy document, 2008. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Finally, let's wrap up the conversation. There have been a few reports from the Kuska International Airport, particularly about persons who just driving and their cars are clamped, and they're told that the waiting time is 10 minutes. And you don't have any clock to say at what point the countdown starts. So some say people are profiteering from unsuspecting persons. They are lured and then they take their money.
Yes.
Has it come to your notice?
Yes. What has come to our notice is that, especially with the arrivals, when people get in, they are supposed to get into a car and leave or park at the car park. Unfortunately, some of them come and stand there waiting for their clients, and sometimes you cannot allow that place to be used as a taxi rank. So these things happen, but we are looking at it.
I know a few people who have just driven in to drop off people, and 10 minutes, and their main concern is that you don't have a timer to say, I got in at 7:05, my 10 minutes ends at 7:15. There's nothing like that. So as per the whims and caprices of somebody who comes up and say, I work with national security or a towing service, they just clamp it down and take 100 Ghana cedis from
that's
you.
what I've said that we are looking at.
Where does the money go, by the way?
The money is shared between the Ghana Airports Company and the towing company that doing the activity.
So how much does the airport company get of the 100 cedis?
So the airport company gets around 30%.
30%, and the towing gets 70%. So if I'm able to establish that my car was clamped, unfairly, can I get a refund? If I'm able to prove?
Yes, definitely, you can get a refund.
Where do I get a refund from?
I mean, you know where you have to petition. You have to petition the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Your closing thoughts, so we can wrap up the conversation.
We have a big agenda for the aviation industry because we believe that it connects country, it connects culture, and it connects business. Our plan as a ministry and as a government is to make sure that we can connect this country and open up the country to aviation, because that's the easiest and the fastest and the safest means of connecting this country together.
Okay.
So ours is to make sure that we can intensify the investment in aviation across the length and breadth of the country. So we are looking at an air cargo village in Tamale, because we want to Tamale is 1 hour less travel time to Europe than even from Accra. The northern region is the food basket of this country, and therefore we believe that our agricultural value chain, our trade value chain, we can do some free zones in the Tamale enclave and make sure that we can start doing a lot of exports.
Okay.
That's one major project we want to do. We also are planning to do a new international airport in Takoradi because it serves the oil and gas industry. The western region is the number one contributor to national GDP, so we have a lot of gold there, we have a lot of agricultural produce, we have a lot of timber, we have a lot of fish, and therefore we believe that setting up another international airport there will be able to bring in more investors and make sure that the country can connect more with the outside world, and in doing so, increase productivity.
And all this is achievable within your first term?
Yes, please.
All of this is achievable within the first term by 2020?
Yes, please.
So I can take that as a promise from you?
We'll do it.
I can take that as a promise from you?
We'll do it.
Today is the 6th of November.
November, yes.
We're shaking hands on that. I remind you.
We are in a hurry.
I remind you.
We are in a hurry.
Thank you very much. My guest has been Kwabena Ochre Dakumensa. He's the Deputy Minister for Aviation, and he just made a promise to us. You know, when we get promises, we don't forget about it. We rehash, we keep hitting.